Hey, good morning. We're sitting here in Missouri. Wanted to give you guys a quick little recap of our turkey season, and then also what we're currently using for our archery setup. Um, so on April 6th, that would have been our first turkey hunt. Got up early in the morning, went ahead and did the running gun hunt with the shotgun, and had the couple of the Primos decoys with me, and we went over the Oklahoma there. And we didn't end up harvesting the bird, and didn't even hear a gobble there. When I was calling there on my first setup, I had a couple hens that made it in through there, but there wasn't any toms there with them, which really surprised me. That particular piece of property, I was talking to some guys on, and they had said that the previous weekend, that would have been youth season, there was birds gobbling all over the place. And it just kind of goes to show you, I'm sure all of us have been out there turkey hunting where one day those birds are on fire and the next day they're just quiet. And that doesn't mean the birds have gone away. They just something about, I don't know if it's the pressure, I'm not quite sure what it is, but it just seems like a lot of the time you may have 2 or 3 days in a row that those birds are just nonstop gobbling. Like this morning, those birds are on fire. But yesterday when I was out here, I heard maybe 2 or 3 birds from a long ways away. But yet to hear the local birds, they were just extremely quiet. But I ended up having them on one of the Moultrie cameras there, the XA7000 cellular camera, actually yesterday afternoon in one of the clover plots. So I know those birds around here, they're just not really reacting to the calls there and the decoys. So like right now, if I were to kind of give somebody a heads up on maybe strategy wise, I'd be doing a lot more scouting, trying to figure out where exactly those birds are at. If they're roosting here and they're coming down here, I'd probably recommend just sitting out there. You may not even have to put a decoy out. If you scouted it well enough, those birds are coming right into there. Then it's kind of just a waiting game. That's not. I understand it's not the turkey hunting everybody kind of expects. But at this point in time in the season, that's kind of the way I would go. This morning I've still got the Jake and hen combo. I've been kind of trying to switch it up between the like a breeding hen and then just the feeding hen. But I just haven't had the bird activity what I like. The opening day, I actually had a pretty good missed opportunity. I had done three different calling sequences from first light there about 6:05 with the Ozark Ridge box call there. These are the calls I do all the giveaways with. Billy Green, the owner of that company, is he's an extremely good guy. I've got several videos out there. If you guys are looking to see the demonstrations on those calls, you can just jump on the KOAM Outdoors reviews, and then you'll be able to find those Ozark Ridge calls pretty quick. But I ended up doing those three calling sequences. About 6:45, I started hearing some drumming, and if you never heard a turkey drum or a tom drum, that's a pretty cool experience. They've got to be pretty close for you to actually hear them. But basically what they're doing is that chest is just hidden itself, and it sounds just like you'd be drumming on your chest. And they're about 6:45. Out of the corner of my eye, there was 3 adult birds that actually came right in here. I turned my camera on and thought I had pressed play, but later on figured out that I had not. But they put on quite the show. They hammered that Primos gobble stopper Jake. I think he's probably a 3/4 strut Jake out there, and ended up bending my pole. It was just quite the show. I just really wish I would have had that on film. But I did end up pulling out the Canon, and I got one picture. And these birds, they were 10-12 yards from me. It was just an awesome hunt. And then when I actually went to draw on the birds, 2 of them actually had seen me, and then there was one just right there, but I just elected really not to shoot him. He didn't. He had a beard on him, and he was probably 6-7 inch long, but he wasn't the bird I was after. So I just kind of elected to pass, and that's just kind of the way things go. Arkansas wise, I'm not gonna be able to make it down there. You know, I had the tags to do it, but just kind of ran out of time. You know, with all the COVID-19 stuff and you know, just kind of life in general. But I still got my Kansas tag, and I'm hoping to get up here and you know, get going there in the next couple of weeks. I've got through the month of May to hunt that state, and look forward to getting up there. But overall, you know, it's kind of been it's been a good season. Earlier on in the when I was scouting night, you know, it was I just wasn't hearing a whole lot of birds, but there are a lot of birds out, especially here in Missouri. I've been really impressed, you know, and the last couple of years, you know, I've really started seeing those turkeys populations grow, and you know, one of my biggest strategies there is trapping, and I try to trap as many of those raccoons and coyotes as I possibly can. And when I do that trapping, like, I don't go after one particular piece of property every single year. You know, I'm not out there to really you know, annihilate all these varmints per se, but I definitely want to manage them accordingly. You know, try to get my you know, my overall goal is to help these deer and these turkeys as much as I possibly can to, you know, sustain and you know, give them enough food sources to provide a healthy you know, resource for them. But I will kind of show you our setup here, broadhead wise, and these are the Magnus bullheads, and if you guys can see, those are some mean looking broadheads. But when it comes to turkey hunting, I've harvested a lot of birds when it comes you know, with archery gear, and what I figured out is the area, the kill zone on a turkey is extremely small, and you know, it's, say, about like that, and you know, to place a broadhead in there and you know, not wound a bird, you know, like I said, I've done it a lot of times, but I've also you know, I've also wounded a few birds. So what I've actually ended up doing, I'm exclusively gonna roll with those Magnus bullheads, and what they do is, you know, it's a you actually aim for their head or their neck, and it'll that way it's a 50-50 shot. You either hit the bird and you kill him, or you've actually missed the bird entirely, and you know, the bird survives, and you haven't you know, haven't done any damage to that bird, you know, wounded it. But you know, that's kind of a what I've switched to when it comes to broadheads. You know, I've still got the decoys out there, 10-12 yards, and that seems to work out pretty good. So you know, right now, as soon as turkey season gets going, as soon as turkey season ends, I'm actually going to start doing some of the food plot stuff. You guys take along there. I've got some sugar beets there that I'm going to plant this year, and then I've got some Japanese millet for the ducks and turkeys. I'm going to try out this year, and then I've also got some sunflower seeds I'm going to try to plant this year, and we're going to see how all this stuff works out. You know, in the past, what I've done is I've always used the Swisher rough cut, sprayed it, and then you know, I was able to broadcast. But with some of these plants, you really got to be able to disc some stuff up. So I mean, I'll still use the Swisher brush hogging, and you know, and but I'll actually disc up some of these food plots. You know, we're going to see how that works out. But I look forward to you know, the remaining part of turkey season. And then right after that, you know, we'll get going with the prep for the 2020 deer season. I've got some pretty good caliber deer, you know, as long as they survive into the fall, that we should be able to chase after pretty quick. So we'll leave you guys at that. Hopefully you guys have had a terrific turkey season, and like always, hopefully you guys are getting out there in nature, and best of luck on your guys' upcoming hunt.